Welcome, one and all, to the Lame Design Conference, wherein each edition my esteemed guest and I will take turns in attempting to pitch the worst possible video game to you, the fans at home, whilst a professional graphic designer and artist illustrates said pitches over our inane ramblings. The contestant who can pitch the stupider, more diabolically unenjoyable game will be crowned the winner by you, the audience, via a poll that will be linked in this video's pinned comment and active for a week after the video's release. If the winner is my guest, they'll be placed into the Hall of Lame at the end of the following episode. And if the winner is me, I'll go out and buy myself a milkshake and look very smug about it. Let's meet today's contestant. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of the Lame Design Conference. I am your gracious host as always, Fudj, joined by my new guest, a very exciting guest, my good buddy, Captain Astronaut. Captain Astronaut, my friend, how you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How are you doing, Mr. Fudj?
I'm doing okay. I woke up about an hour ago because I have the sleep pattern of a deranged person, but otherwise I'm feeling great, thank you very much.
You know, as long as you're getting the hours in, that's good enough.
Exactly. Sleep when and where you can. Who cares? Who cares?
Yes.
Sleeping at night is a social construct. So, this is obviously a pretty new series. I lost episode 1.
Yeah, I saw. It was a great video and 2 great pitches, but I'm glad I watched it first because when you contacted me, I actually had a very similar idea as to your pitch. So I'm glad that you gave it first and you could lose with it. So now I had to come up with that.
Damn, the metagaming. Okay, well, as a result, I am on a bit of a warpath right now. I'm here to try and, claim some vengeance. So I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I'm bringing out the big guns today.
Bring out the full artillery. I'm looking forward to it.
I have notes. I have a notebook.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, first time ever, baby. So, before we get started, could you please, if you could, educate the fans at home who are otherwise unfamiliar with your interplanetary exploits on who you are and exactly what it is you do?
I make videos about video games on all sorts of topics, and the topics range from whatever motivated me enough to get in front of video editing software for 12 hours and actually make a video about it. That's the central framework, the common theme between everything I do. Other than that, it's whatever you want.
Yeah, a real cornucopia on Captain Astronaut, if I may say so.
It's the perfect term for it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what you were thinking. Very, very unpredictable. Always hard to guess what's next. I really appreciate that about you never know exactly what's coming. And you know what? It is customary that I ask my guests for a fun fact about themselves. Can you blow us away with a fun fact about Captain Astronaut today?
So I don't know how familiar you are with American football or soccer. Do you guys call it soccer also?
No, it's football to us.
It's football. Okay, yeah. It's football and soccer, as it should be called football, actually performed at the Super Bowl, which is, for those who don't know, is like the biggest game.
You actually performed at the Super Bowl?
I performed.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that comes with a lot of asterisks after it.
I was gonna say, what's the context? Can I know more?
Yeah, I won't say what year is so that no one looks it up. But with my college marching band, they actually went to the Super Bowl. The NFL contacted us and were like, "Hey, we heard your band's pretty good. We wanted to come perform." And we're like, "Oh, that sounds awesome. Of course we're going to say yes." Well, first of all, it wasn't halftime. It was pregame, which is not televised, and it's a lot less luxurious than it sounds. You just bust there, and then you perform before the game, and then they bust you straight home after that. You don't get to stay and watch the game or anything. It's like, all right, you go on the field, you perform for 6 minutes, and then you go home.
Damn, that actually kind of sucks. They get your hopes up, they get you to the Super Bowl as a performer, and then they just kind of shot you back out right away.
Yep. Well, actually, I forgot one part. We had to wait for 3 hours before the game started, just in a parking lot, and then we performed for a non-televised segment.
Fair to say, a pretty underwhelming experience overall, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not very glamorous, but I just like saying I performed at the Super Bowl and just leaving it at that. I think it's only fair that you give a fun fact.
Oh god, okay, sure. I mean, I'm concerned. Hopcat did this thing last time. I'm concerned that every week, every guest is going to ask me for a fun fact. In this series, I hope we're going for a long time, so I will run out after episode 4. But Sure, I'll go for now. Fun fact about me, it's not really that fun, but some people might find it fun. I have never been on a plane in my life.
You're not traveling anywhere?
No, I come from like a really poor family, and we can never afford like the trips abroad. And frankly, at this point, like most other, I live in Britain, which is hardly ideal, but most other places in the world, I'm sorry to say, even in your home country, Captain Astronaut, not particularly appealing to me right now. Gotta be said.
No, you are not missing anything by not going here.
Yeah, there's one place that I could be right now that's worse than the UK, and it's it probably is America. Let's be real.
It's here. No, for a fact, it's here.
Well, as I say, Captain Astronaut, I'm on the warpath today. Last week it was all sweetness and light. First episode, I'm gonna be gracious. Let the guest go first. This week, it's all out the fucking window. I'm going in hard. It's my pitch first. If you will be so gracious.
I'll go for it. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Awesome. Okay, as I say, I have notes here to refer to because I really went hard on this one. So, hello again, ladies and gentlemen of the Lame Design Conference. It's a pleasure to be back. Even if you voted me as the loser last week and I'm furious about it, but it's fine, I'm not going to be weird about it. Today, I'd like to present to you an old adage, a saying that has been passed down through generations and become somewhat of a legendary turn of phrase in our modern world, and that's that if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. And with that in mind, I'm telling you right now, I'm the guy who will make the Muppets RPG happen. It's time, baby! We've waited too long! This is my cross to bear. Don't worry, I've got it. The Muppets RPG. Hear me out, right? So, we'll start with some fun stuff before we get into the lame stuff. I could sit here and go through, like, which character is which class all day and who is what, but I'll give you some quick fun examples. Kermit obviously makes sense as an all-rounder, as your main character. He's probably got a sword. He can do a bit of magic and all that stuff. He can do a little bit of everything. Maybe he's a knight. Maybe he's like a general swordsman. Animal and Rolf as bards. This makes total sense. I think they're very different kinds of bards. Animal probably plays a sick drum solo and buffs everyone's damage and makes them do more damage and stuff. Rolf probably plays a soothing jazz piano solo and maybe heals some of the party. Maybe increases some of their evasiveness and whatnot. My personal favourite here, Beaker and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, are a 2-in-1 character, kind of the Kate Sith of this game, if you will, for the Final Fantasy VII fans. They're mages because in this medieval time, science was magic. And it says here, for their ultimate attack, they present the concept of atheism, stunning their opponents. Cheesy, I would like to formally request an image of Beaker and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew presenting the concept that God might not exist to a bunch of generic JRPG enemies, please. Now, in concept, a Muppets RPG, you're thinking, this sounds awesome. How is this lame? This sounds great. This is everything I ever wanted, right? Well, hold your horses. This game is going to utterly squander the Muppets IP. Captain Astronaut, you're a pretty big JRPG fan, right?
Yeah, I partake from time to time, for sure.
Yeah, apologies in advance. I'm about to be a huge bitch. There will be no acknowledgement of or reference to the outside Muppets universe. This is the most generic, by-the-books, Square Enix style RPG you can imagine. The characters will have Octopath Traveler levels of shallow and lifeless interactions. They are Muppets. So, I haven't even played Octopath Traveler, I've just heard trash about it from my friends.
You are right, you are correct in saying that.
Yeah, they are Muppets in name and voice acting only. Otherwise, you will simply hit all the typical JRPG beats. You'll slowly gather party members, travel to old-timey countryside villages, and fight God at the end. And an important detail to note is that once the villain reveals himself and becomes God, Beaker and Dr. Bunsen Honeydew, they can no longer use their atheism move because God has been proven to exist. But again, perhaps the Muppets RPG sounds amazing on paper, but if wasting this IP wasn't enough, I actually got a bit of flack in the last episode for introducing a game concept and then intentionally doing nothing with it, and people were saying well, hey, if you can do that, who's to stop someone from coming in one week and just being like, my game is a black screen when you can't do anything, right? And fair enough, sure. To be fair, if someone comes on and does that, I'll probably just find it really funny, but sure, we won't do that. That's a bit like using cum in Jackbox, right? It's just an instant win. It's not very fair. So let's talk specifics. Let's talk about how this game is terrible mechanically. Now, just recently I did a video on Oblivion, and Oblivion has level scaling. And level scaling is this mechanic that a lot of people weirdly go to bat for in RPGs. A lot of people seem to think it's really good. No, newsflash, level scaling almost always sucks. It's good sometimes, but by and large, it's really shit. It completely destroys any sense of progression. It completely destroys any sense of like difficulty curve. You know, it just flattens the whole game out, and I can think of very few cases where level scaling has been used elegantly or has worked. So that's why we're doing it in this game. Every single basic enemy encounter will be scaled to your level, every single one, except bosses, who, when you first encounter them for the first time, and there's a lot of bosses in this game, I think they pop up like every 2 hours or so. When you first encounter a boss for the first time, they will spawn in effectively at fixed 30 levels above your highest level party member, and then they'll stay that way for the rest of the game. This means that every single boss will require extensive grinding, and you can't even grind against easy or weak enemies because every enemy is consistently scaling to a level. So you're constantly going to have to grind against reasonably hard fights that take quite a long time. Random enemy encounters can occur anywhere, even in buildings or towns, and the game has an in-game timer that dictates that a random encounter must occur at least once every minute. And finally, my piece de resistance. The game's name is, again, because there's no reference to the Muppets Outside Universe, this isn't really a Muppets game. So the game's name is Story of Swords, Elysium Babylon Valkyrie Chronicles, Origins, and can only be accessed from the main menu by saying the game's name into a microphone that's likely attached to your controller or console. Your thoughts, please, Captain Astronaut.
Wouldn't be surprised if a game with that title already exists.
No, meaning
that exact long title. Like the way, I like some of these JRPGs that have been coming out recently, but they're just using random word generators to come up with their title. But I like it. I would get it.
You're trying to influence the result. Be like, oh, it's not that lame. I'd play it. That's
me.
You'd
No.
hate it. You'd hate it like everyone else because it's objectively the lamest game. Give me my dub. Okay, well there you go. That does it for my pitch. I would say the name again, but I threw my notebook back dramatically, and now I can't
It's
remember.
too long to remember. I didn't even come up with a title for mine.
Well, there's a point against you, buddy. That's all I'm saying. And on that note, pressure's on, Captain Astronaut. After I presented my absolutely devastating first pitch, we're all dying to hear how lame your game is, Captain Astronaut. Please present the ladies and gentlemen and non-binary individuals of the Lame Design Conference with your pitch for your lamest possible game today. Woo!
So, I mean, that's going to be hard to beat, or to not beat, I guess. But, all right. So, let's look at media today. You know, what's something that's definitely not oversaturated their own market, doesn't have way too many releases coming out right now. Superheroes. Everyone loves superheroes. We don't have franchise fatigue at all. So there's a lot of movies coming out. So by extension, there's going to be a lot of superhero games coming out, right? You got what? Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham Origins, Batman Arkham Knight, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, Marvel's Captain 1, Marvel's Captain 2, Marvel's Captain 3. So there's plenty of games where you play as the heroes. But what if there is a game where you play as
the sidekick?
Close, but instead you play as basically as like the NPC in the movie. So my vision, sort of like Death Stranding, where you're an Amazon delivery driver and you have to deliver packages in the middle of a superhero battle. So, but you don't have the license to any of the characters, so it's all like these knockoff characters, like the Incredible Bulk, Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. I'm pretty sure that's royalty free by now.
He's definitely gone public domain by now.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to just you have to make your Amazon deliveries, or sorry, you don't have the rights to Amazon either. Amazon.
Your amazing deliveries, huh?
Amazing deliveries. There we go. So you've got to make your deliveries while dodging falling debris, but that is only half the game. because eventually the game continues until you get hit. You know, it's very strand-like in that sense. So you make as many deliveries as you can, and it's a randomly generating list of deliveries because there's just no end to amazing delivery company service. So eventually you get hit, and then the game transitions to a Phoenix Wright style lawyer visual novel where you join a class action lawsuit against the heroes, but because they have way more money than you just lose every time. You have to go through and present evidence over and over. You have to be like, objection, take that, and you still lose no matter what. So, and then after that, you just repeat the game, except you like missing a limb or something like that, or you know, and that's how the difficulty increases because less able. But you don't get any workers' comp.
What I love about this is that the forced loss is usually a one-off dramatic thing that video games do for like a narrative punch, you know. But you've actually redneck engineered the forced loss into an actual gameplay mechanic.
Even if you don't present the right evidence, you'd have to do it over again. Even if you would lose, you still have to present the correct evidence, only to lose no matter what.
Yeah, you still have to go through like a long-winded court procedure knowing that you'll lose.
But the one good thing about it is after you go through the site, that gameplay loop of like deliver packages and then visual novel, lawyer loss. I mean, what's everyone loving gaming nowadays? Battle Pass, baby. So every time you go through the loop, you unlock new colors for your cast. You unlock new colors of water bottles for you to pee into. Because that's one thing I forgot. You got eventually, like every couple of deliveries, you got to like empty the tank into one of your water bottles while still dodging debris. And it's a stark criticism of the capitalist hellscape we live in, where we have to keep doing our regular ass fake jobs even during the apocalypse.
Not bad, pretty good. Okay, so to clarify, this game has two halves. One where you are a lowly delivery person NPC walking around a city that is being ravaged by battles between superpowers, and then when you inevitably suffer a terrible injury, you're forced to take them to court and lose. Are you forced to just go through a lot of dialogue that like you can't even go that fast through just to lose?
Exactly. Like it's a fixed auto scroll speed, but it's like one. It's like I don't know if you've used like old school Microsoft PowerPoint transitions where they have like the typewriter effect where it's like every single letter like zooming in individually. It's just like that. Instead of like the fun like Phoenix Wright style where there's like jokes and stuff. No, it's just straight up just boring legal proceedings where they're talking in legalese that you can't even like really understand.
Oh yeah, actual court talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's part of visual novel. It's like two genres at a time then. Fascinating. And I guess when you're making a game that's two genres at a time, this happens quite frequently. You get half the dev time to dedicate to each part of the game, which means they're both unfinished and shit.
Exactly. Ideally, they would spend about 80% of their resources on making items for the battle, and then 20% for the actual gameplay.
So the battle pass again, that's all cosmetics. So you mentioned like water bottles and stuff. Is it just like, you know, do you get like different skins for your delivery person, but they suck as well, or?
Everything. So you get water bottles, you get different color casts, and then you get racially insensitive skins that they implement in the game on purpose to drive up engagement on Twitter for people talking negatively about the game, which gets people to check out the game more.
All press is good press, right?
Exactly.
I can't believe I wasn't the first one to intentionally include racially insensitive skin. I'm really glad that you've ripped that band-aid off for me. Thank you. For the sake of the future of the
as a lifelong black person, I can do this.
Yeah, I knew a few black people who only became black over time, but to have someone who's been that way since the start, it's really that means a lot for the long-term health of the series. So thank you. That is a lame fucking game. Holy shit! You walk around. I imagine in the walking section, there's no win condition, right? Like you just have to walk until you get. Is there like Can you deliver the parcel successfully, or will you always get hit?
You can deliver it successfully, but it's just a never-ending list. So as soon as you deliver one, you already have like 10 more you have to deliver.
Oh god, it's Radiant quests, isn't it? From like Fallout and shit, endlessly generated quests. Oh man, I hate that shit so much. Okay, yeah, that is a motherfucking lame game. 2 parts of it, and they both suck. Captain Astronaut, everyone, from the Lane Design Conference.
Oh, thank you, Fudj. And hey, if you're watching this and I'm the one who sent you over, what are you doing? Go subscribe to Fudj. He makes the best videos on the goddamn website. More people need to be making videos like Fudj. Hit that subscribe button right now, stupid ass.
Stop it. Stop it. You're just trying to butter me up. He's just trying to get the win, ladies and gentlemen.
Fudj makes some of my favorite videos on the entire platform. I'm not even joking.
Thank you so much, man. You're such a sweetheart. I haven't watched the. I've been leaving the recent Ike video for a rainy day, but I will get to it because I'm genuinely. I think like it's so rare especially in a Nintendo game, even if it's in first party, for there to even be undertones or something like that. I'm really fascinated by that discourse. I've just been working so much, but I promise you, it's on my watch later.
If there's one thing that it's always fun to engage in, it's discourse about Fire Emblem.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, after the Nintendo like not making black people video, I'm sure you would just like dive absolutely chomping at the bit to dive back into some social justice discourse with the people on YouTube.com.
I love my comment section. It's always amazing.
Yeah, there's nothing I love more than like debating sensitive and important social topics with people on YouTube comments. It's so good. You should be able to age gate comments on some videos. Like people under the age of 18 should not be able to comment on the is gay video and why don't Nintendo make all black characters videos.
Or even just be like, name the last book you have read, then you can make a YouTube comment.
They'd be like, Naruto Shippuden manga chapter 24. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for episode 2 of the Lame Design Conference. As always, there will be a poll in the pinned comment where you can vote for which was the lamer game. Was it postmodern? Or was it Story of Swords, Elysium, Babylon, Valkyrie Chronicles, Origins? We'll have a straw poll in the pinned comment, which will be active for a week after the publication of this video. And if Captain Astronaut should prevail again and embarrassingly defeat me for the 2nd episode running in my new series and leave me winless, he will be inducted into the Hall of Lame at the end of the following episode. I will have to be in touch about a specific picture that you want to represent you in the Hall of Lame. So
okay, I'll get something together.
Yeah, think of it.
When I win.
Okay. The hand rubbing was very menacing. I gotta say, when you can't see someone's face and they start rubbing their hands, it's infinitely more terrifying than when you can see someone. Yeah, I think we've got a bit of a. Oh my god, that is. I don't like it. Oh my god, I can see myself in the reflection of the visor. I hate this. I feel like I'm in Saw. I feel like we've got a hell of an aesthetic going on, might I say, by the way. We've got kind of like a Daft Punk, actual punk kind of thing going on. I reckon if you bust out the bass and I grab the guitar, maybe there might be another collab in our future.
Full disclosure, I'm very good. When I play bass at the end of my videos, I practice that one section for 100 hours.
Yeah.
And do dozens of recordings. I'm like, alright, that one is the least worst.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm intermediate at best. Whenever I post a clip to Twitter, that's my 200th take, you know? So stay tuned for the extremely average, intermediate at best Captain Astronaut Fudj collab album. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys enjoyed the Lane Design Conference. Really, more importantly, I hope you hated it, and I hope you hated everything you heard today. And thank you very much. We'll see you next time.